trending now. It's trending a lot.
Yeah. No, actually, I think I am the founder of that.
The passport bro?
People thought at one point you were the passport bro leader, and people also say that Amara is a passport pro kingpin, the person who started the passport bro movement. Do you know who Amara is?
Amara? No, I don't know who that is.
Go ahead of him.
What is his name again?
Amara. Mara is somebody who people say that Amara is the passport bro kingpin, like that. He started the movement of passport bros. So I'm asking you, have you ever heard of him?
No, I've never heard of him.
I'm telling you, like, for example, Colombia, people who go to Colombia, it's people who watch.
Yes.
I swear before God,
You open the doors for sure.
you cannot meet a guy in Colombia who does not know my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm full-time passport bro. I believe in traveling and finding love far away from here.
What do you think people are upset? In the US, a lot of people who don't travel, they're upset with this whole thing about men going to other countries to find women. Why people being a passport bro in the US for a lot of people is a negative thing?
Before you went to Tanzania, you denounced your passport brotherhood, right? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Because whenever I had my news articles in Brazil, they were throwing a lot of other passport bros behaviors and stuff that they were doing in other countries in my article as if I had something to do with it, even though I didn't even know who these people were, didn't know about these things that had happened. And I had realized that was what came with associating yourself with a label, a decentralized label.
I think right before the Brazil drama, that you were crowned as the passport bro leader. Did you consider yourself the leader of the passport bro?
I understood that I had that perception, but I never claimed it.
Oh, okay. And then why you put a tattoo on your arm? Was it on your arm?
Yeah, it's on my arm here.
Okay, so what are you gonna do about that? You gonna take it off, or what are you gonna do about it now that you're no longer part of the movement?
I like it. I don't know if I take it off. I said I would. If I did, it would just be the word passport bros. The rest of that, I like that. The rest of that tattoo is very well done. I would just remove the wording there.
Oh, okay. Hi guys, and welcome to another video. I am Valentina from the African Dominican channel, and I'm here contributing to the African Diaspora channel. I wanted to talk about the passport bros because I just watched a live by one of the African reactors by the name of Coco Mama slash Modesta Lifestyle. And I've noticed that recently a lot of reactors have been talking about passport bros, and just passport bros is basically a trending term. And a lot of people don't really understand what a passport bro is. And also passport bros themselves also have a different definition of what a passport bro is. So there's no official definition of what a passport bro is out there. Everybody pretty much has their own definitions, which is fine, right? But there's a common denominator to this definition that we can all agree on, all right? Traveling, men traveling, or men who travel. That's basically what a passport bro is. You might say, oh, it's men who travel for sex, it's black men who travel, but the key thing that we can all agree on is actually men who travel, all right? So I just want to make this video and help you understand better what a passport bro is from my understanding, okay? Again, like I said, there are many different definitions out there. To understand the passport bro movement better, just know that there are many different definitions of what a passport bro is. Even the passport bros themselves will give you many different definitions of what the term means. Everybody pretty much has their own definition. But like I said, there is a common denominator to the definition. I did a video on my African Dominican channel on the many different definitions of what a passport bro is. Okay, I made that definition back then when Austin Harleman got in trouble in Brazil. I also recently interviewed Austin Harleman on my African Dominican channel, so please go there and check out that video, because Austin Harleman was known as the Passport Bro leader last year. He pretty much helped to spread the term further. All right. So I interviewed him on my African Dominican channel. So please check that out. And also people say that I Am Mara is the kingpin / the founder of the YouTube Passport Bro movement. I say YouTube because the term or the movement has always been there, just not officially. So some people credit I Am Mara, and he admits to being the founder or the kingpin of the Passport Bro movement. Some people disagree that he is the kingpin or the founder, but that's beside the point, okay? And I'm speaking on this issue because I am cool with a lot of Passport Bros on YouTube. The ones that I believe are decent people, based on my knowledge, of course. If I find out that they are doing some shady stuff, then of course I'm gonna distance myself from them, but at least I know a lot of them on YouTube that I'm cool with, and I do hang out on their channels, because to me they are just men who travel, and I like to travel. So I like to surround myself with people with common interests like travel. All right. So I believe that not all Passport Bros are the same. There are good Passport Bros and there are bad Passport Bros. The common definition of a Passport Bro is basically a black man or any man in general who travels. Some of these men travel for sex. Some travel to find a wife. Some travel to just have fun and be part of the tourism culture and local culture, and then they end up doing other stuff on the side, like sleeping around. A lot of men do sleep around. We all know that, and women too. So and some of these Passport Bros do charity work in their local communities. You see them doing food drives and all that stuff. And also some Passport Bros, they do help improve the standard of those women in those countries. Some of these women, they have high unemployment rate in their countries, they don't have jobs, so they have to sell their turtle to be able to survive and support their family. Do I agree with that? No, I do not. I wouldn't even wish that on my own daughter. But at the same time, I cannot ignore the fact that some women out there, they're living in abject poverty. They have no other means to support their family other than to sell their turtle. And I cannot judge those women. I'll leave it up to God to judge them, because I've never been in that desperate situation, and I pray to God that I'll never be in that situation. But I have an issue with women who have other opportunities to make money a decent way, but they choose to sell their turtle. So those women I have no respect for. But women in third world countries who don't have any other choice, they've tried everything else, but they cannot get a job. Those women, I cannot judge them so harshly, because I cannot understand the situation. I cannot understand their situation because they are living in abject poverty with high unemployment. But that's like maybe 1% of those women in the world that are in those situations. I believe there's always something to do in a nice, decent way to make money. You don't have to sell your turtle. So I do not support selling your turtle. I'm just saying there are some people out there who are really, really don't have any other choice. But those are like few. But I feel like a lot of women out there, there's always a better choice to make an honest living, make decent money, even if it's not very good money. To make a living and still do it honestly and respectfully, respecting yourself and your body. So I do not support selling your turtle for any reason. I'm just saying that those who just don't have any other means, hey, may God judge them. Okay? But anyway, moving on. Okay? So like I was saying, Passport Bros travel for many different reasons, and they're not all bad. There are Passport Bros who actually get involved in charity work and help the local community in one way or another. I know that's probably hard to believe for some, but I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay? So they are not all bad. On YouTube, there are a lot of Passport Bros on YouTube, show many different women, and a lot of that is staged for views and to make money, because to them, their channel is a business. So when you see them moving from one woman to another, they're not necessarily sleeping with all those women. Some of them are, and they probably are, but some of them are just doing it for the views and to make money from YouTube. Is a business for them. But yes, they could be doing both. They could be doing that on video and also doing it off video. So I wouldn't really read too much into the YouTube channel or the on-camera stuff for views and money. But who knows? They could be doing, again, they could do the camera version and they can do the off-camera version. Either way, that's the reality. The term as we know it today, the passport bro term as we know it today, really has nothing to do with American women or America this and that. Because I know when I watch a lot of these reaction videos, or when I watch a lot of American men talking about, passport bro movement, they want to blame on black women in America or women in America. To me, that's just an excuse. It's an excuse for them not being able to get women in America. Because I live in America, and there are people in relationships in America. Not everybody in America is single. There are people in America who are married with girlfriends and, who are living their normal life. So if America was so bad, there won't be any success stories of like people getting married or being relationships, right? Yeah, the divorce rate is high for many different reasons, but you can't really blame that on just Western women. To me, that's just like an excuse. Because if these passport bros really wanted a woman, the moment they go to these countries and find a good woman, they'll settle down with that woman. But they're not settling down. They keep going from country to country to country, with all these women. So it's not an issue of like women in America being a problem. It's an issue with those passport bros who can just get not settled down. Yes, they may not get women in America because women in America also, they are woke, they are independent. So they're not willing to put up with a lot of crap. Whereas women in a third world country, if you put money in their face, they don't have any other way to survive. They don't make their own money. They don't make good money. So of course they're gonna be more nice to you, the passport bros. They're gonna make you feel like a king because you are showing them money. Your money is talking for you. But the moment your money runs out, they're gonna be the same women that you left in America, basically. Because they don't have to put up with your stuff if you're not gonna, if you don't have anything to offer them. So again, my point is, passport bros who complain about women in America, the Western world, that's just an excuse. An excuse because they are not able to get those women. It's nothing to do with those women. It's really them. They are the problem, not those women. So I don't really buy into that. Because I know a lot of passport bros or men who travel who have women in America. And passport bros are not all single. There are passport bros who are married with wives and children in America, but they still travel the world and do their own thing. And there are passport bros who have girlfriends in America, and they still travel the world and do their own thing. So passport bro has nothing to do with not being able to find a woman or a good woman. So some men are just wired that way, Do I agree with that? No, I do not. But is it their lifestyle? Yes, it is. So continuing on with this term, let me just say that the term as we know it today, like I said earlier, has really nothing to do with America this, America that. Although the term was coined by an American woman, yes, an American woman came up with the term passport bro. A passport bro did not come up with that term. Okay? It's black American women who started calling these men who travel outside of America for sex and other stuff. They call those passport bros. The women in America call them that. So that term was coined by women in America. Everybody knows that, But as we know the term today, it doesn't just mean American men. Now it just means men in general, right? Men who travel for sex. So that's one of the points I want to make. So like I mentioned, some travel for good reasons and some travel for bad reasons. The term passport bros has been tainted, that everyone thinks a negative term, that everyone wants to run away from it. A lot of black men who travel, they don't want to be called passport bros just because the term has been tainted. Because when everybody thinks passport bro, they're thinking negative, right? But before the term was made popular on YouTube, it wasn't deemed as a negative movement. It was kept on a hash. But nowadays, everybody wants to run away from the term passport bros. A passport bro to me is no different from a cheating husband who sleeps around with many different women in his own country or town or city. Or even a single man who sleeps with many different women in his own town, city, and country. To me, those men are just the same as passport bros. Because what are they doing? They sleep with many different women, whether they are married or single, whether they are traveling or not. What's the difference? So if you're going to condemn the passport bros, might as well condemn the local men who are not traveling, but they're still doing the same thing, right? So again, men who travel for sex are not different from the men who sleep around with many different women in their own countries. So please, let's judge them all fairly. So I've seen a lot on YouTube, online, passport bros being judged harshly, while we ignore the fact that, hey, there are other men doing the same thing as they are locally. And those men are not getting the heat. So I'm not here to defend passport bros. I'm not here to defend them, but I understand I'm a woman who likes to travel. I don't travel for the sex. I travel for the culture and for tourism. Because to me, I believe that sex is very sacred. It's supposed to be, when you're in a relationship with somebody special to you, preferably your husband, and you are faithful to each other. So that's how I look at it, because to me, sex is very, very sacred. It's not something to be played with. But not everybody has my moral. Not everybody believes in what I believe. But me personally, that's what I believe. So my only problem with passport bros is when these passport bros travel to other countries and abuse men, women, and children, especially those who are underage, and even those who abuse animals too, because there are some bestiality stuff going on. So I have a huge problem with that. I cannot even make an excuse for that. Those are the passport bros I have a problem with, the abusive ones, the ones who travel to other countries just to misbehave and do all these nasty, terrible things that they will not do in their own countries, because they know that the laws in their own countries are very harsh. They do in their own countries, again, a lot of trouble. Some of them travel to other countries to do it, sleep with underage kids, just because they know that in those countries, the governments don't really care that much, or they turn a blind eye on it, or the laws are different for age of consent. But my problem is, like, if you come from a country where the age of consent is 18 and up, and you go to another country to sleep with minors, you're a sick man, and may God help you. So I personally won't judge all passport bros equally unless I learn about them sexually abusing men, women, children, minors, and animals when they travel, or even in their own countries, because I do not like abuse of any nature. So if you're abusing anybody locally or when you travel, to me, you're a sick person. And, I hope that God deals with you and that you'll never know peace. That you'll never know peace. That your demons will torment you for the rest of your life until you repent and stop abusing people in any way. All kind of abuse is terrible. So, moving on. A lot of men who travel sleep with women in their destinations. Yes, we do know that. Let me not say a lot of men. Some men who travel sleep with women in their destinations. It's not a new thing. I'm sure it's been around. Yes, it's been around even before the YouTube exposed it. It's just that now YouTube is a business for a lot of people, and they have to put out these videos of them happy for woman to woman, because there are people out there who want to see that. So they're doing it for the views and the money. So just moving on, and just because we don't see something happening on camera doesn't mean it's not happening. The passport bro movement, like I mentioned earlier, has been around even before YouTube, right? But we didn't know a lot about it because it was being kept on a hush. If YouTube was not out, we probably wouldn't even know about this movement, but it's been around. There's been even diplomats when they travel, ambassadors, all these CEOs, all these people who travel for their companies. When they go to different countries, do you think they're just going to be called Turkey? No sex at all? I'm sure these people, when they go to different countries for work, for business, for whatever, diplomatic discussions, yeah, I'm sure they do the same thing passport bros are doing. So in a sense, they are also passport bros. They just move differently. So we can't judge. So my point is, we cannot judge passport bros or passport bros harshly just because we see what they are doing on camera, right? If they're not abusing anybody, then I don't know if we can judge them harshly, because we know people in our lives who are probably doing the same thing, in their own streets, in their own towns, in their own countries, right? but want to judge those who are doing it on camera harshly, but they are not different from those who are doing it locally. You have a boyfriend who cheats, who's sleeping on many different women, your husband sleeping on many different women, right? But of course, you're going to excuse your husband or your boyfriend, but you want to judge passport bros so harshly. Me personally, I cannot judge all of them the same, because unless I know that what you're doing is bad, you sleep with minors, you are grooming minors, you are abusing children, women, just because you feel like you have the upper hand because you have money. If I see that with my own eyes, or if I see proof of that, oh, trust me, I'll distance myself from you, even if I know you right now. But my point is, not all passport bros are bad. So the term is tainted to me negative, but really, passport bros is just men who travel. And they are not all traveling for the same bad reasons. So let's just be mindful of that when we say passport bros. And also when we see what we see on YouTube, yes, it might be bad to some of us, but it's not different than other people who are not putting it on YouTube, right? It's men doing what they do. And I hear there are women who are also doing that, and I don't understand why women gotta do that, because women, why do you have to buy pee-pee? Why do you have to buy mandingo? You can just open your legs and any man will run to give you what you want. So I don't understand. I don't understand the passport sisters. I don't know if they really are passport sisters really doing it, or they just on YouTube like Diaspora. Does Diaspora really sleep with others, man? I don't want to believe that she does. Maybe she just does it for the camera and for the views. But I'll be surprised if she sleeps with all those men that she meets. I don't know. Yeah, because I don't understand how women can be passport sisters when, like, no man would turn down Toto. No man. So why should you have to buy it? Why should you have to buy a man to do you? Unless you're like maybe in your 60s and 70s, when you're really, really old, I can understand then, because you're so old and it's like, yeah. But if you're young and vibrant and you're like below 70 or 60, I don't understand why you need to buy D. No man will tender your Toto. I don't care what you say. Anyway, I think I'm done with this video, and I rambled on, but I just want to address this because I see a lot of videos being made by women who, and men, about the passport bro movement. So many judgments being thrown out. Everybody throwing judgments, basically, just because somebody's a passport bro or a man who travel. I think we just put everything in perspective and judge everybody fairly, right? Passport bros, local bros who are moving the same, they really are one and the same. You don't need a passport to do what the passport bros are doing, sleep with many different women, right? You can do that without a passport in your own country. So why should one be judged more harsh than the other one? Why? Anyway, leave your comments below and let me know what you think about this topic and what I said in this video. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.